to the IUE Local 478 Training Center. I'm Craig Metz, Business Manager of Local 478, and we're happy to have so many representatives from government and industry join us today as we talk about the steps the International Union of Operating Engineers is taking to train 21st century heavy equipment operators in the area of gas, transmission, and distribution pipeline construction. This morning we will show you how our pipeline training programs will work in conjunction with Governor Malloy's comprehensive energy strategy. For over 100 years, Local 478 has been a top provider of highly skilled operating engineers in the state of Connecticut. And thanks to the efforts of General President James T. Callahan, the International Union is able to bring state-of-the-art equipment and expert instructors from across the country to ensure that we are ready to expand and upgrade our state's pipeline infrastructure. We have one more brief presentation here that we're certainly taking a lot of interest in on our side. And I'm going to ask General President and the Governor to step off the stage one more time and ask Nate Brown to give me a hand with our presentation. These are the official colors of a true pipeliner. So we got a pipeline governor here. He's going to have choof, there'll be a real pipeliner. Can't be a pipeliner without Brendan. Thank you. Our first speaker this morning is IUE General President James T. Callahan. Through President Callahan's commitment to the gas industry, our local unions are now able to provide pipeline-specific training to an already skilled workforce, making Local 478 members the most highly trained and skilled pipeline workers in the country. The end result is that the operating engineers will ensure Connecticut's pipelines are built right, built safe, and built to last. It's a great pleasure for me to have our General President come to Meriden, Connecticut to oversee what 478's training strides have been for a lot of years. This is a big commitment. This was a big move. We didn't ask for this 2 and 3 years ago because this program here is engaged around the country. So it's with great pride and privilege I give you James T. Callahan, President of the Operating Engineers.
Jacket on, could you open the door? It's a little warm. No. Well, thank you. I'll be brief. I think, as you all will see, the way the operating engineers have always worked is that we will show you instead of explain to you how we're going to maintain this work. I want to thank the governor for securing this work, and you know, when Craig came to us and we wanted to make sure that after all the efforts that you did on you know, in the House, Speaker's House and all, that we were going to make sure that you had the well-trained people to do this work. And then my guarantee to Craig and everyone else in the trades here is that if this work is so plentiful, we'll make sure that you have well-trained, safe people to do this. I know there's a lot of dignitaries here. I thank them for coming. But like I said, I would prefer to have us do the presentation to show you what we're able to do. So thank you, and I'll pass it on to Greg. Thanks.
Since the start of the recession, thousands of Connecticut construction workers have been unemployed, waiting for the day that the economy would turn around. During the same period, hundreds of thousands of Connecticut homeowners and businesses have experienced constant uncertainty with the ever-fluctuating cost of oil. The people of Connecticut are in need of a plan to increase employment and decrease our energy costs. Our next speaker is Senator Dante Bartolomeo, who has the honor of introducing the Governor Malloy. Dante.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here today and to be amongst so many of you that I count as friends, and I appreciate the opportunity that I've been given. This is truly an exciting day for Meriden, for Connecticut, for the fantastic men and women of the operating engineers. we're embarking upon the beginning of a long-term, at least 10-year plan in an effort to provide energy choice and good, solid paying jobs to the residents of Connecticut. And I'm so pleased that the operating engineers are an instrumental part of this plan, which is going to certainly help to revive the economy of our great state. And you know, today in a day where I'm the mom of 2 children, so it seems as though everything is about instant gratification. And if there is not instant gratification, people tend to give up, but not the people who have been behind this project. I want to say thank you to Representative Lonnie Reed, as she's co-chair of the Energy Committee at the Legislature. I also would like to mention that Bob Duff, the Senator Bob Duff, would have liked to have been here today, but he's elsewhere. It is commitment on their part to bring forward what our governor has proposed and has stood behind, and that's this long-term plan to turn our state around as far as energy. It's not easy to take up that charge, to bring it forward, to stand behind it, because for those of us who are in this business, we have short terms, and we're talking long-term plan, and it takes conviction and courage to be the one to support that. And that is why I would like to thank our great governor, Daniel P. Malloy, for his conviction and his confidence and his vision for the state of Connecticut and its comprehensive energy strategy.
With everyone, Senator, thank you for the introduction. Representative, you did a great job. I'm going to see Duff in a few minutes. I'm actually heading down to Norwalk to swear in the new mayor down there, so I'll tell him we spoke and that you were here. Mr. Callahan, thank you for joining us. It's a great honor to have you here. To my friends in the operating engineers and associated other unions that are here, congratulations on this great program. We are trying to get the state of Connecticut moving. Lori, thank you for being here as well as representative of the AFL-CIO and president here in Connecticut. Very much appreciated. You know, there's a couple of realities. We're talking about a comprehensive energy strategy, and I'm so happy that you invited Commissioner Esty to be here. This is a long-term plan. Let me just share this with you. Connecticut has a 31% penetration rate when it comes to natural gas. So 31% of the customers who could potentially in the state access a natural gas if the lines were built out are getting it right now. Now, the national average is 53%. In New England, Massachusetts has 47%. Rhode Island has 48%. New York, not New England, but our adjoining state with whom we compete, has 53%. And New Jersey has 72%. If you wonder sometimes why they've seen so much more growth in bioscience and pharmaceuticals than we have, it is in fact partly due to their lower energy costs. If we're going to turn that around in Connecticut, we've got to get more natural gas into New England and into Connecticut specifically. And that's part of our multifaceted energy plan, which yes has to be built over years because we haven't built over years when other states were in fact building. It is time that we address this issue. It's one of the reasons that we put forth this plan. But I would also tell you we're not standing still just on natural gas. So we've seen the cost of electric energy come down in the state of Connecticut by about 12% since I've been governor. But more importantly, even when it's spiking substantially less in Connecticut than it is in the rest of New England. We are winning this war with respect to energy costs, but we're going to have to stay the course. Now, a big part of this plan is to get more lines to more houses, to more hospitals, to more schools, and a big part of it also has to be ultimately to get more gas, natural gas, delivered into New England. Let me be very clear, natural gas is not perfect. It is not zero emissions, but it's a lot less emissions than oil is. We will have a substantial positive impact on the environment while we lower cost, while we make Connecticut competitive for jobs. That's what we're trying to do here. That's why this program, coming to Connecticut, is so very, very important. That's why having representatives of the natural gas utilities in the room is so very important. We can do this. I mean, we've got to be tired of being on the losing end of job creation in Connecticut. That's where we were on a net basis for 22 years. And yet, since Nancy became lieutenant governor, I became governor, we've seen the creation of 41,000 private sector jobs. Not enough. Not enough. We need more. And if, by the way, if you didn't get one of those jobs, it certainly is not enough. But this is a long-term effort to reposition Connecticut, to make us competitive, to stop losing the battle for jobs and start winning the battle for jobs, so that we can do for our children and our grandchildren that which was done before us. And then ultimately, let me be very clear, that as a society, we have a moral obligation to leave our state in better shape than the way we found it. We have to have better infrastructure. We've underinvested in infrastructure, both by utilities, by state governments, by local governments. It's time to put our state back together. It's time to build our state out. It's time to make sure that we are competitive with the other states of the nation, and quite frankly, the other nations of the world. That's the competition that Connecticut was in for a long time. And that's the competition that Connecticut won for a long time, and we're going to win it again. Great to be with you. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor. Our next speaker is Lori Pelletier, the Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Connecticut AFL-CIO, who has been a tremendous advocate for her over 200,000 members and their families. She has also been an ardent supporter of the operating engineers and the Connecticut building trades, and she knows firsthand the importance of creating high-skilled, good-paying construction jobs. It's my pleasure to introduce Lori Pelletier.
Very exciting. Oftentimes we hear that government doesn't create jobs. Well, this plan creates jobs, and it was a government plan. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank for all the work that was done before I became Executive Secretary Treasurer just a couple months ago. And President Emeritus John Olson, who is here today, labored, if you will, very strongly on this bill, and a lot of the reason that it passed the legislature was because of John's work. John, thank you for that.